Hi, this is Lee Majors, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
Ed Robertson welcoming you back to TV Confidential, radio talk show about television that's commemorating August 29, 1967, the day the running stopped, the date on which The Fugitive aired its famous final episode, The Judgment, by replaying conversations we've had with some of the actors who appeared on The Fugitive. Later on the hour, we will play a clip from our conversation with Jacqueline Scott, the actress who played Richard Kimball's sister, Donna Taft. We'll also hear from Diane Baker, David Jansen's leading lady, in the final episode of The Fugitive. In the meantime, we're going to play a clip from a conversation that originally aired in August 2015 with Richard Anderson. Richard Anderson played Richard Kimball's brother-in-law in the final episode of The Fugitive. He also appeared in several other episodes of that series. Richard Anderson, of course, the actor known around the world for playing Oscar Goldman on both The $6 Million Man and The Bionic Woman. At the time we spoke to Richard in August 2015, he had just published his memoir, Richard Anderson at Last, a memoir which you can find right now at Bear Manor Media. Also on the line with us that day was Alan Doshna. Al was Richard's collaborator on Richard Anderson at Last, a memoir. As we pick up the conversation, Al and I were talking to Richard about working with Lee Majors and Lindsay Wagner on The $6 Million Man and The Bionic Woman, and how he played Oscar differently on both shows. You were a little more businesslike with Lee, and it was almost like you were flirting with Lindsay.
You know, they've been saying that all through the years, that actually it's the way I played them. I was running the show, and I have these people to go in and solve the problems by doing what they have to do. Now, when Lee comes into the office, that's one thing. He's always saying, you know, in the part he was playing after a year or two or three, I don't want to do this anymore, and I had to know how to keep it where we could stay. Now, when we came in with Lindsay, she would come in and see what was going on, and I would treat her, and I talked to her throughout the whole show, very much different. This fellow that is in charge, me. So I acted differently when I was doing scenes with Lee. Differently, I was acting with that lovely lady.
Was it a situation where you were reacting to, because no two actors are alike, every actor has their own method or their own way of doing something. Was it a situation where you were just reacting, you played it differently because you were reacting to what Lindsay gave you on Bionic Woman and what Lee gave you on 6 Mil?
You're saying it exactly right. What it is with her, she wanted to do the right things, you see, and she needed to do it in a way when I come and see her that I could get her to do it. And she was doing 2 shows at once sometimes, you know. So what I'm trying to say is that the reason I got the part in the first place was someone else had already done it, and he was too hard and everything for the show. And that's when they called me one morning and they said, come on over, you're going to play this part. And that's how it started that morning. And it started with Lee. And he was in the hospital, and he'd come out of some very tough stuff. And I did the scenes with him, talked to him a certain way. And the next day, the producer came down and said, don't change a thing. Do it just the way you did it yesterday. And then when we got Lindsay out here, and when I'd see a scene with her, and at certain times, you know, you get busy, but you also get it's just a lot of hours. You know?
No, it is a lot of hours, but look, there's a reason why both Bionic shows continue to play today, both on DVD and all over the world, because you worked very hard, you put in long hours, but the quality is, you did good stuff.
Well, you know,
the quality of chemistry. I'm sorry, yeah, what Gary Cooper said about chemistry, that's one of the important elements, and there's a unique chemistry both between Lee and Lindsay. But it was on chemistry.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole idea of television, and actors and so forth, that you have to understand that you're not going to be doing much else in your life. We were in it for 5 years.
Yeah.
And to give you an idea that, that the scripts were very good, too.
Mm-hmm.
They really were. There was one where I get kidnapped in my office, and they have someone that looks just like me, so I was playing two parts. How do you like that? Now, here's the interesting part of it.
Okay.
It was in the last shots of that show, the two of us, which was the same people, and this fellow says he's going to shoot him. Shoot the one. Shoot them. You can only shoot one. You can't shoot them both. And then they asked him after they shot the guy that was me, that was evil, and then Lee turns to me and he says, "Well, how did you know it was me?" And he says that well, those guys are not men.
Robots don't sweat.
They're robots.
We're talking to Richard Anderson, the man known around the world as Oscar Goldman on both The $6 Million Man and The Bionic Woman. Our conversation with Richard originally aired in August 2015. Richard Anderson passed away in September 2017. Richard Anderson's memoir is available through Bear Manor Media. Also on the line with us that day was Alan Doshna. Al was the collaborator on Richard Anderson At Last, a Memoir. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back. One more item. If you're starting a company, particularly one that is in an emerging market, you know that averting any sort of legal dispute is crucial to your business plan. Our friends at Tectonic Law offer an array of services that can help you avoid and preempt future litigation while also developing and protecting your intellectual property and intangible assets. Tectonic Law serves the needs of a host of emerging industries throughout California and beyond, including industrial designers, beverage makers, artists, farmers, retail stores, health practitioners, wellness experts, cosmetics manufacturers, nonprofit organizations, innovators in sustainable practices, and libraries. Go to tectoniclaw.com to learn more about how Tectonic Law can help your business thrive. tectoniclaw.com. Rock solid representation for groundbreaking industries.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay Area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
Ed Robertson, thanking you for listening to the TV Confidential podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss our next episode.
Hi, this is Barbara Hale. You're listening to TV Confidential.
I know you recently did one of those spots for Me TV where you're all over me, and it's true because pretty much I know you did a lot of Gunsmokes, that's on Me TV. You did a couple of Riflemen, that's a Rifleman episodes, that's on Me TV, and of course, you were on Perry Mason, so you're all over me.
Perry Mason was a very, very good show, and CBS wanted it, and I had done 3 of them just
as a defendant.
Just coming in to do them, and then suddenly they decided they wanted me to be in it full time. Mm-hmm. So I was in full time of the last year, and it was really, really interesting. That show would have gone on forever, but the reason it didn't, it had to do with color.
Yes.
Yeah, the change of color. They didn't want to do it in color, and another one did. The studio wanted it to color, and change it. Though the ratings were there, but they had to talk about it, and then the fellow that was running it,
Mr. Paley,
that they just said no, never mind. And boy, the whole country was surprised by that.
Well, it's, again, that's one of those shows that's never really left television, because it continues to play not only on MeTV but in many different. In fact, probably it's a safe bet, Richard, that as we speak, someone somewhere is watching Perry Mason.
Well, that's right, and you've got it. You're saying exactly right, because they run, and then of course the great time of the season that they wanted to do 6 million in Bionic Woman, like that, and it just doesn't go away. These shows have gone all over the world, you see, and they're getting reasons to send them there because there's always money with it.
That's right.
And to see that they want to do some more, or put them in places that's right, that makes it very interesting.
Now, I want to ask you about working on Seconds with Rock Hudson and directed by John Frankenheimer. I'm looking. I don't know whether you remember this, Richard. Did you make that before you did Perry Mason? Did you make that after Perry Mason, or was it around the same time?
About the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, about the same time. Now, this was John Frankenheimer. He's a very good director, and he was working at Paramount. And then he asked me if I'd come and play a part. And I always wanted to play a part in a picture that he had. And he was very, very interested in the scenes. And that particular movie was very well thought of. They had called and invited me to one of the gatherings in New York when they were talking about that particular show, and everybody that could came there, And it was a story about a man that wants to do the right thing. That's what it's about. It really succeeded as he hoped. He died early in life. I was stopping at this hotel, and he had just been there. And then I had heard the next day that he had died. He came out of New York and did plays originally.
I understand that Frankenheimer was very detail-oriented as a director.
You're right. You hit it. That's exactly right. Well, he had, you'd see him right in the camera, right next to the camera, all the time. I remember the first night why the actor he was using, he said, "Now everybody learn their lines." And this fella says, "Oh, come on now." This fellow was he's a new actor. He's really on top of it. He says, "Don't talk that way." Because that was the first day, and he didn't want to go through all that, that kind of stuff, because the idea is to Spencer Tracy I met at the studio. I was there for 5 years, and I made 20 movies. Yeah, and he was sitting outside. I was in a movie with him, and he had it was a hot day, and I sat down and I said the same thing: acting. Learn the lines and don't bump into the furniture.
That's right. That's right. And again, you've always taken a very minimalist approach to your work, whether it's for film or television, and that's what's always made you an interesting actor. Because even if you're playing, like, say, a police lieutenant, like you did on Perry Mason, where you, out of necessity, you did not always have the biggest part, but you always tried to make your characters as three-dimensional as possible, no matter how big or small the part was.
Well, this is the thing that you've hit upon a great thing, that for the actor, that when he sees the script and he's learning the lines and he's doing all this, the thing is, what you want to do is to explain the movie. See? And your point in it, your reason in that movie, why you were cast for it to start with. And then also, you want to make certain not to overdo it, not to just say, it's me, me, me. It's not me, me, me. It's the script.
I think and you tell me if I'm wrong, Richard, I think Rock Hudson was another minimalist actor. I mean, even though he was a big star and could have gotten caught up in all of that. I understand because I've talked to a few people who worked with him and who knew him. To him, it was all about the work and it was all about the script.
Yes, it's true. It is true. He was at Universal. I think I'm saying that right. At Universal, and he was there, and they were making pictures with him, playing the leading man, and he liked it. And when he'd come on the set, he'd be very happy to, say hello to everyone. And sometimes he brought a dog around on the set, and he was that kind of a guy.
Yeah, I understand. He was very well read. He was he had a razor sharp sense of humor, and he liked to make up words.
That is what I heard too. Now we all started about the same time. You see what I'm saying? That the early times of film. First of all, it was all sound. Remember that?
Yep.
It was just sound. You didn't even say anything. And then they started in with that, and then it came to when you say sound, you're going to talk. It was all silent until 1929. You never said a word, and that was a big change in the actors that came as those that weren't the same. Once they had to talk in the movies, but of course, talking at the movies were really the segment of Gone with the Wind. How's that one?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I saw them shooting. They were in Culver City shooting one of the big scenes. That was probably as great as they all come. Clark Gable wasn't too crazy about all that, but he was in it. And Clark was interesting. He had a contract. I did a picture with him there at the studio, and then we talked, and he says, "Well, Richard, I've been here a long time, Clark Gable, with all the love scenes and everything." And he said, "I've got it in the contract." I said, "What is it?" He says, "I go home every day at 5 p.m.
Yep.
No one else ever had that, And when I say that, you are really, you're there at 5 or in the morning sometimes.
Long hours.
Yeah, you're just working very hard. And he by then had been the biggest guy, probably, I would say, or close to it.
Although I think I read this story in your book, Richard Anderson at Last, a memoir. I think there was one. Even though Gable had it in his contract, I go home at 5 o'clock. I think there was one movie he did one day. There was an actress, and I forget which film it was, but she was having trouble with her scene with him, and he actually stayed past 5 to help that actress out. So,
true. That was true. We were away from the studios. We were in the Middle West filming. And he was, I remember we were sitting down for dinner, and I know who you're talking about. And he did it. He did it. Clark was, everyone was, he was big, huge.
Yeah.
He knew it. And he was very, very interesting about him. I had a scene with him. We were on horses, and we had some lines to say. And the cameras were way away, and that was my first shot with him. And I was a little bit, my God, Clark Gable. It was when I was just starting, So they said, "All right, everyone quiet now. All right, shoot." And then I said to him, "Do you know Mr. Jones," or whatever I called him, "there's something that I need to say." And he said, "Well," I said, "Well, oh darn, I missed the line." He blew the line. Listen to this. And then just kept doing the scene. And when it was over, he said, I shouldn't have done that. I just had to do it to say that I'm making the money in the proper way. He just did it again. And furthermore than that, I said my line knowing he'd blown the line to keep the scene going, you know. And then after I did that, why, he tried and stopped. But that fellow had it. There's lots of stories about the people, but the actors, of course, are the most needed in a sense of stories that are being told. It's no different today. It really is not. It's not at all.
And one of the things I love about Richard Anderson, At Last, a Memoir, is you not only talk about some of the big stars that you worked with, you know, throughout your career in film and in television, Richard, but you give us a lot of the little stories, you know, of like you just shared about Clark Gable. I mean, about taking the time to help another actress, even though, you know, it was contractually past 5 o'clock, he could have gone home. It's those stories like that you know people don't know about. It helps show that they were stars, but they were people, and and when it came down to the day on the set, they were actors, and actors help other actors out.
Wow, you've got it. And that's always been the case. Certainly, they want to be doing the script right, you know, but they also hope that the scenes will work. Sometimes they don't work, and that's kind of tough, because you've said you're going to do the part, and somehow it doesn't work either. So there's a lot of times where we do an added scene or two, you know, and sometimes it's after we've stopped shooting there. Come back and they'd say, we've got something that we really need. Now that was Irving Thalberg. He was the one who was interested in only one thing, the story. And he was at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and he was hired there by Elby, the boss. And he'd go off in an evening with the writers, and they get on this little trucks that they go on, and they go down to San Bernardino and play the part, show the movie as it was going to be, the movie that was made, and then they wanted to see how it would work, and then by the way, Louis B. Mayer saw them going, and he was there with the director, and he started to cry. And I said, well, it's all right. He says, no, they don't want me to go with them at all. In other words, he wanted to have, a feeling of being. He couldn't make an automobile if they gave him the world. And so what happened is he'll come back, and as he comes back, he says, now we know how to make the picture. That's what he did. Yeah. And that's exactly what he did. And he made those pictures that were the best. The best.
Actor Richard Anderson from a conversation that originally aired in August 2015 here on TV Confidential. Richard Anderson passed away in September 2017. We'll take a quick time out. We'll bring an encore presentation of our conversation with Jacqueline Scott when we come back here on TV Confidential.
Our research team has found a perfect solution to solve any man's ED problem, erectile dysfunction. Even the word is a bummer. And those pharmacy pills are expensive. But when you call our special toll-free number, you can always buy 40 to 50 pills for around $2 each. At your pharmacy, you could spend up to $65 for just one pill. Our price is around $2, and our formula works virtually the same as the expensive pills. We even deliver them to your door in a confidential package so you don't have to go anywhere. Just pick up the phone and order 40 to 50 highly effective ED pills for around $2 each. It's a no-brainer. You'll save hundreds of dollars, and you'll have our 100% satisfaction guarantee. Call now to order 40 to 50 ED pills with no prescription for around $2 each.
Call Steelman now at 800-932-2613, 800-932-2613. That's 800-932-2613.